Who do you think treats their Japanese wrestlers better, AEW or WWE?
AEW. AEW.
Why?
I would say if the only place that treats their Japanese wrestlers better than AEW,
New Japan.
New Japan. I'm so serious because one thing, just because I think there's an obvious bias, and for different, I understand they're very different businesses, and one is, I'll go back to this, even though there's pieces of sports entertainment in AEW, of course, but
Hmm.
it's more. It's like whether it's 50-50, whether it's 60-40, 40-60, 70-30, whatever the different compositions. But the way that they're currently mapped out, AEW certainly treats them better. Like look at Takashi, he's in a very high profile role. You look at Okada, for example. Like a lot of these guys, they have been put in positions like that, and I argue that uh, their careers dwarf Shinsuke Nakamura. I think the only one that's maybe an exception is Asuka and Io, which I mean they're in the women's division, but I don't want to undermine them and say that their careers are any less or anything. They have very successful careers, but just in terms of the win uh, home run ratio for who presents the Japanese wrestlers better is AEW, and I think one of the things that comes into play here is they don't have as much of a bias towards them being able to cut these long-winded promos. Like AEW, they do have promo segments, don't get me wrong, but they're not as promo heavy as WWE to where they pretty much, if they put you in a high profile role or have you as a champion, you are a brand ambassador and they expect you to go out and talk for 20 minutes and they expect you to go out and go to Good Morning America and be able to talk with Jimmy Kimmel or uh, Dr. Phil, Oprah, like whoever the given show host is, they expect that from you. With AEW is like, you're a wrestler. And if you are a good wrestler, they'll put you in this position. And I mean, grant like some people are better talkers than others. I think AEW they actually do a better job of providing for people opportunities to work with, I guess, within their confines. So you have like Stokely Hathaway, you have who else? Christian Conde. He served as a mouthpiece for the guys that he had. Jericho has done it. There's so many factions, and Don Callis obviously. There's they know how to work within the limitations of their wrestlers, and they don't try to make them someone that they're not. And granted, if you do acquire those skills, you can branch out on your own, and it only helps you. But I don't think that the Japanese wrestlers not being able to give those westernized promos holds them back anywhere as much as it does in WWE.
Yeah, it seems like the only Japanese wrestlers that WWE takes serious is Io, Asuka, and Kyrie. Other than that, Shinsuke, they don't really take Shinsuke serious. Yeah. So are you saying that WWE treats the Japanese wrestlers bad, or would it be more like kind of average, or how would you say
Well, what are we comparing them to? I mean,
AEW?
correct. So if that's the only alternate, like there's only two options. So if we
For
sort it
New
out,
Japan, if you want to do that too, but
no, I
yeah.
don't want to do that because everyone's Japanese. Like if you aren't Japanese in New Japan, you're in the minority. So it's like how does New Japan treat the American wrestlers? And I'd argue that they treat the American wrestlers better than WWE treats the Japanese ones. That's a real
Yeah.
comparison if you want to make it. But let's talk about what you just said there with does WWE treat them bad? I don't think it's a matter of just putting it as simple as they treat them bad. Is more so is that they have proven several times that they have the inability to utilize wrestlers from Japan. And I
Hmm.
don't know whether it's a stylistic thing or whether it's like I think the promos really has a large part to do with it. But I mean, there are a lot of
But doesn't it AEW they usually would tag a Japanese wrestler like Don Callis is with a Japanese wrestler right now, right? So he talks for him.
Dawn is with everyone.
Well, yeah, yeah, but I know there's a Japanese wrestler in there's a Japanese wrestler in the family though, and I know he was usually talks for like they usually have like a manager with someone who can't speak a lot of English usually.
But look how many. That's another thing, Josh. We talked about this. WWE they don't have any managers.
Right, that's the problem. That's the
They
thing I
don't like
said.
using managers for whatever reason.
Right. So yeah, like Shinsuke could benefit from that. Like even yeah,
Julia, I mean, Julia has
Julia.
a
Yeah.
business advisor now,
Yeah. Kinda.
which
Yeah.
I mean, that's maybe the closest thing we have to somebody actually being a new manager.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hell, look at what MVP does for Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
He lets them thrive in a role where they could deliver those stoic one-liners and threaten people and just be badasses. Nobody wants to. I mean, I love Bobby Lashley. He's one of my favorites of all time, actually. Uh, but I don't think anybody wants to see Bobby Lashley come out and cut to a 20-minute promo. I don't think he needs to, because the act of
Yeah.
the Hurt Syndicate just functions so well as a unit. And I mean, I would like to see him do a little bit more, but it's not quintessential to what they're doing for him to be doing that. I mean, everybody like the WWE style is more akin to like presidential debates, and that's probably the most apt comparison I could make with the amount of mudslinging and accusations that get brought up and things of that nature. But yeah, it's just two whole different styles. But I just think that they failed to capitalize. I think even back to I don't know what his issue was or why they didn't keep him around long. But Yoshitatsu was a pretty big name in Japan that got brought over. But Shinsuke Nakamura is probably the most prevalent one. And I would even say Asuka to a degree. She was fumbled for a little bit, like when they had her first lose to Charlotte. It's kind of
Mhm.
like welcome to WWE. Here you go. You're undefeated, not anymore. Like imagine if she had failed Charlotte on her first attempt at WrestleMania, was undefeated still. And but just to my point, I just think they failed to translate well. Uh, for I don't know the reasons, but just historically has not happened.